I've been wanting to make this video for such a long time. And let me tell you, last week I got frustrated. I made this video twice, but I was having audio issues and I realized tonight why. So I'm redoing this for you guys. And just so you know, this is in regards to Inside Looking, the character that is or was all over Reddit. After the murders, the Idaho 4 murders, and before the arrests of Bryan Kohberger, this account, this character was always online, always on Reddit, always commenting, everything. Now, how I came to know about Inside Looking and a little brief history. Crime Circus at the very beginning was very Bryan is guilty. Bryan is guilty, and he was going down rabbit holes. He was deep diving, which, and I love Crime Circus. Don't get me wrong. Love him a lot. And a lot of what he has said in the past when he was all Bryan is guilty on that train, I still believe. I still believe that Papa Rodger is Bryan Kohberger. I still believe that Inside Looking is Bryan Kohberger. I still believe that maybe, well, I'm like 50-50 on this. I still believe that Brent Kopaka might have been involved. Not 100% sure. Anyways, that those are all things I found out from Crime Circus. All of these little things, they stuck with me all this time. Now, I got my hands on a spreadsheet of all of Inside Looking's profile comments. Like he would comment on threads and whatnot on Reddit. I don't understand Reddit too much. I don't really have a Reddit account. I think I do, but I never go on it. So I don't know how to navigate on there. I just know that there's like some Reddit posts and subreddit posts is what I'm gathering based on what I see from Inside Looking's posts. But nonetheless, this is a picture of Inside Looking on the left, Bryan on the right. And that profile picture, I'm not sure when it was added, but if you can see here, it's the same nose bridge, same natural highlight on the tip of nose, and all of that. It just, for me, it screams that it is Bryan. Now, and this profile picture was pasted and put on like before the arrest and everything. Okay, so I honestly don't know when it was added, but that is Bryan Kohberger, in my opinion. In that picture, it's Bryan Kohberger. And there's 33 pages of these comments. You'll see here his username, Reddit, and then he was always writing in two groups, Idaho Murders and Moscow Murders, and maybe once or twice in an Idaho 4 little group as well. But it was mostly Idaho Murders and Moscow Murders, and he actually got banned from posting for about a week. You'll see later on. So these are not necessarily in chronological order. And how I know this and how I realize, like, if I guess you comment more on Reddit, you'll get more points. So you'll see the very first comment, it says 29 points. And then you'll see this one here says Inside Looking 7 points. So this must be early on. And again here, 3 points early on, 12 points, whatever. So again, I don't understand Reddit all that much, but I'm assuming the higher the numbers is because he's been posting more. So, and then we have the sub threads I'm seeing here, like Chief of Police James Fry thanking public for recent tips, house being turned over, general discussion thread, so on and so on. We're going to go through it, but keep in mind these are not in chronological order. But at some points, you can kind of see where it makes sense and what it's answering to. Like if there's sub comments, like sub replies to the thread, then you'll see that. But they're not always together. So one thing to pay attention to. That's all. All right, so let's go. First page. It's going to be a long read. I've done this video a few times and I had audio issues. So we're going to go into it. I've read this basically 3 times now, so I know what's to come. But it's interesting to do it now because of the fact that Bryan is now sentenced. And the amount of things that Inside Looking has commented on here that are actually accurate, it just proves to me more and more that it is Bryan behind this account. The first comment that we have here is Chief of Police James Fry thanking public for recent tips, or just slowing down on updating the public with the same info all the time. So I'm assuming this was based on someone saying, how come they don't have no more press conferences or press releases or something like that? And I guess this is where he's like, well, they're just slowing down on updating the public because they always just have the same information right now. They don't have a suspect right now. This is all before the arrest was made, because all of these threads, you guys, you'll notice he keeps saying no suspect, no suspect at the moment, no suspect. He says that quite a bit. So this is what this is pertaining to, this comment here. Next comment, it says, yeah, it goes back to the owner under house being turned over to owner, which would be the University of Idaho. Then we have a general discussion thread, which was on December 27th, 2022, which says, look at the killer's route. And then we have December 28th, 2022, still before the arrest, a couple days before. Blood runs down from Xana and Ethan's room, not the stairs. So this person knew, well, at this point, everybody knew this was Xana's room. I suppose someone was just arguing the fact that it was coming from the stairs. Not sure what stairs they would be talking about, whoever commented the initial comment that he replied to. But nonetheless, he corrected the guy. And he's very blunt as well. Like, he'll be like, wrong. And like, he talks a lot like Papa Rodger. Then under the thread, does the killer likely live in the neighborhood? He's like, you mean 0% chance. I'm assuming that's pretty self-explanatory. Moscow police reports November 3rd to the 13th. Wow, you got him. And we have it again. Some comments are doubled. And there is one thread I'm going to let you know right away. There was a September 12th. Someone was threatening someone on September 12th, and Moscow police had determined that it was not relevant with this case, the Idaho case. So InsideLooking keeps correcting the guys or the people commenting about how it was perhaps like related, and he keeps correcting them saying no, they're not related. So those threads I'm not going to bother reading because they're just not. There's a couple of them near the end, and I'm not going to read them because, and you guys will see my screen anyways, so you'll see that I'm not reading them for a reason, because it's just not relative to the case. So again, does the killer likely live in the neighborhood? The killer didn't walk there, in my opinion. And of course, he says, in my opinion, all the time, IMO, how we usually all say it now. It's like this character, Papa Rodger and InsideLooking, have started, in my opinion, to be spelled like this. I had never seen it spelled like this up until like this Idaho case. Maybe I'm just Gen X and I just don't know this stuff. Maybe it has been, but I have never seen it up until the Idaho 4 case. Then we have on the December 27th daily discussion group, we have killers entered sliding door and exit sliding door. If Kaylee and Maddie were targets, the path doesn't cross Ethan and Xana. If Ethan and Xana were targets, the path doesn't cross Kaylee and Maddie. Ethan and Kaylee did not reside at the... Oh, hold on. I'm going to bring down my percentage so we can see it. They did not reside at the home. Therefore, Xana and Maddie must have been targets. Okay. And then he drew this diagram, and I don't know what it all means. Here you can see the blood splattered. This is the blood from Xana's room. I am not sure what all these areas are, what this is even. I don't even know what this diagram is. It's too small. So then we have not ex-military, in my opinion. So whoever did it is not ex-military. No, they were at Sigma Chi. Here, he says this a lot as well, meaning Ethan and Xana were at Sigma Chi that night. Kay was not a target, in my opinion. Xana and Maddie were targets. Look at killer's route inside the home. Kaylee being target doesn't make any sense. And that's possible. But Kaylee got it really hard, you guys, and that's so traumatizing. But so did Xana. Xana got it horribly. Um, and I think that Maddie, well, I'm pretty sure Maddie was the target. I've always believed that Maddie was a target, um, based on also Mad Greek. There's no evidence that it's not, and there's no evidence that it is. He was very good at, I don't know. I don't know if he was just good at hiding himself. I'm not sure. But nonetheless, I'm not going to go into the Mad Greek thing quite yet. Maybe I'll talk about it in a little bit. But for now, we're just going to stick to this because I've always felt like if Maddie and Xana, I'm just going to go into it. Sorry. I've always felt like if Maddie and Xana were the targets, that's because of Mad Greek. They both worked there. So that's the only reason I've always felt that Maddie and Xana were the targets, if it's both of them. If it was just Maddie, I think he just happened to see her somewhere, um, and or on Instagram or something, and just got infatuated or just couldn't stand her. You know, if he's anything like Elliot Rodger, like I think he is, then he probably hated sorority girls and he wanted to have his way with them. We're moving on. Do you think the killer is among us, enjoying the fact that no one has a clue what happened? Being on the run is not fun, in my opinion. Keep in mind also, anything that's real and truthful will finish with, in my opinion, or later on you'll see speculation and then he'll say speculation. It's just so obvious. Can we talk about can we talk about one of the guys in the video? And then he starts laughing with a gif. General discussion thread, December 27th. Not sure. Maybe kept in Kay's room. I'm assuming this isn't pertaining to Murphy. Theories thread 4.0. Killer went to Xana and Ethan's room, then Maddie and Kaylee's room, in my opinion. Is it possible that he went to Xana and Ethan first because Ethan was a big boy, and maybe Bryan didn't even know that Ethan was there. But he stalked the house so much, he would have known Ethan's Jeep. All right. And can we talk about the Jeep for a second? It's noted in one of the documents, and I am taking my time reading those documents, by the way. They're saying on document 48 that Ford Explorer was Ethan's. I think they made a mistake. There was a lot of mistakes in the documents, might I just say. Anyways, let me continue on because this is going to be a long video. General discussion thread, December 27th, 2022. In my opinion, look at the map and killer's movements. Why would the killer leave two people alive at the scene? Movement was intentional. The kitchen was the entry point. So if Maddie and Kaylee were the targets, the killer's route would be kitchen and stairs. That path does not cross with Ethan and Xana. If Ethan and Xana were the targets, the killer's route would be kitchen and living room. That path does not cross Maddie and Kaylee. Therefore, Xana and Maddie are the targets, in my opinion. Oh, I get it now. Because like I said, I've made this video 3 times and the audio didn't work. So I've talked about this already 3 times. And I was saying he was conflicting himself. Like he was contradicting himself in this here. Why would the killer leave 2 people alive at the scene? Movement was intentional. The kitchen was the entry point, the sliding glass door. So if Maddie and Kaylee were the targets, the killer's route would be in the kitchen and stairs. That path does not cross Ethan and Xana. But if Ethan and Xana were the targets, the killer's route would be kitchen and living room. That path does not cross Maddie and Kaylee. Therefore, Xana and Maddie are the targets, in my opinion. And because Ethan and Kaylee did not live there, it basically just leaves Maddie and Xana. And because the killer did go to these routes, the kitchen and stairs and the kitchen and living room, that would only mean that Xana and Maddie were targets since they were 100% supposed to be there. I get it now. I was just like, well, anyways, I'm not going to go into what I said before because I was like, he's contradicting himself. But no, what he's saying makes sense. Another thing he's saying makes sense. Okay. That's what I'm saying. Xana and Maddie were the targets, in my opinion. Okay. And then he edited. You can see it was edited. Where is it? Edited here 5 days ago. With the killer leave da, 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 but he removed this part. Therefore, he removed the therefore Xana and Maddie are the targets, in my opinion, from there. So I'm just going to skip down because it's said 4 times. Xana and Maddie, in my opinion. Ethan was in the bedroom, in my opinion. Xana and Maddie were the targets, in my opinion. Killer went to Xana's room, then Maddie's room, in my opinion. Now, why? And we're under the assumption that he went to Maddie's room first. Why would he go to Ethan and Xana first? Unless he didn't know that Ethan was there. Ethan's a big boy, and he wanted to take out the big boy before the big boy can stop him from doing what he wanted to do to his real target, perhaps being Maddie. Right? So that is the only reason I would think would be that. Now, there's another theory, obviously, that I haven't gone into in a very long time. But upon reading the documents and what I found out from some of the interviews with their friends early on, is that Xana and Ethan did do snow. And so, if it would have been a drug theory, if it would have been that, then perhaps he would have went to Xana and Ethan first if he's looking for drugs, let's say. I don't know. This would have been like a drug theory a long time ago. But recent documents are showing this. They're saying this, and their friends are saying and have admitted that Xana and Ethan both do snow or both did snow. Um, so yeah, there's that. But I'm not knocking anybody for doing that. I just did not know that until I read the documents. Had no idea of this. So 1226 daily discussion. Exactly. Crime scene was also expanded to the parking lot and not to Walenta. So the parking lot behind 500 Queen, behind the house, but it was the 500 Queen Road apartments. So he's talking about there. Her parents can't get closure without the why, in my opinion. Under confused about the K had a stalker angle. Her parents can't get closure without the why, in my opinion. This pissed me off. This pissed me off because InsideLooking being Bryan Kohberger, I'm sure. I mean, in my opinion, I'm sure, in my opinion. The fact that he waited 2.5 years, almost 3 years, right before the fucking trial to confess that he was guilty and then end the trial, end the why, and any kind of like proof or not proof, but just knowing the why. He basically says it right here. Her parents can't get closure without the why. This guy is very calculated. This guy has planned this from very, very early on, and he knew what he was going to do this entire time. He controlled the entire narrative of how, motions got put out. I'm not going to doubt that. I believe he had a lot of say behind the scenes with Ann Taylor, and he got his way for the most part. He even supposedly pled guilty for his mother to save her from having to testify. Moving on. Theories thread 4.0. Killer went to Xana and Ethan's room and then Maddie's room. We see this comment a lot, you guys. Then he explains, I put in there, in my opinion, in quotations, IMO equals in my opinion. Someone must have asked him, why do you keep putting IMO? Actually, this route is correct and the most logical, in my opinion. So he's probably talking about the order of the house. like whenever he went in and did the killings, what order. Theories thread 4.0. No, killer was outside before murders, in my opinion. Likely Xana and Maddie were targets. Same work, same sorority, same house, same majors, different floors. You guys, this also screams they might have been. Like, not only Maddie, but also Xana. Same work, Mad Greek. Same sorority, same house, same majors, different floors. And that's why he went to the different floors. He knew where they were. If he scoped out the house from the front, you can see Xana's room. He would know that was Xana's room. Going into Maddie's room, he would know it as well from the back end with the cowboy boots and the M. So killer went to Xana's room and then Maddie's room, in my opinion. He says this a lot. I'm going to say it again. No, killer went to Xana's room, then Maddie's room, in my opinion. So he's like basically correcting someone when he technically doesn't know either, but he probably does because that's freaking Bryan. And again, no, two vastly different personas, in my opinion. So I don't know what that's for. I don't know what that's pertaining to. But he likes to correct people with a period. No, period. Two vastly. And then, and then he'll still throw in my opinion, to cover his ass. And he even states later on, he says, I have to say that or else the mods will delete or whatever. They'll delete my comments or something. Then 1226 daily discussion, write them a letter and find out. I'm not sure what that's pertaining to. And another thing, JD is cleared. He's very, very, very adamant at who is cleared. He says JD is cleared. He'll share that Jack Showalter is cleared. He's very adamant as to who is cleared, which I'm. It also points to him as being Bryan because he knows who did it himself, and so he knows who's cleared. So he'll definitely put it out there and be like, oh, and he'll also talk really highly of the police. You'll see. So, and he has the utmost most respect for the police, remember? So, JD cleared. Ethan Chapin not in the hallway, in my opinion. JD was cleared. Wrong. Killer went to Xana's room, then Maddie's room, in my opinion. He's getting mad at this point. He's like, wrong point, period. Wrong. Killer was in parking lot behind the house and drove off from there, in my opinion. And this has also been the theory that, and it's basically pretty much known, I believe. I'm not sure yet. I haven't gotten that far into the documents. I'm honestly only at document 78. I'm taking notes, I'm making videos, and then I'm learning more as I go. And I'm also learning those damn documents are not in chronological order. Going forward, they were in their rooms, in my opinion. So everybody was in their own rooms, is what he's saying. What if this was a sexually assault attempt? I don't know what you said because I never responded to you. I don't know what that's for. Yes, that's what I mean. JD Fam speaks out. Yes, that's what I mean. What if it was a sexually assault attempt? Ellie states no essay. Stick to facts. And he's very much into the sticking to facts. You'll notice. So everything that he says to me are facts because he knows. He knows what happened. He did it. So he says, stick to facts. And he also always says that the cops are sharing facts. He's very, very, very adamant that the cops are spitting facts. Now, he says here as well, no sexual assault, end of story. Maybe it wasn't a fact that he was infatuated with Maddie or any of the victims. Maybe he just did not like them. And that's really sad because, like Olivia said, they would have given him mercy. They would have been nice to him. Question regarding the fixed blade. Killer went to Xana's room and then Maddie's room. So Kaylee was likely the last victim. This tells me if Kaylee was the last victim, that's why she got the brink of it. She got the last of his rage. And she also, based on what document, oh my God, let me tell you the document. In document 51, it states here that Kaylee was perhaps in her own bed because of the sheets being thrown over, like she ran out of her bed. like we've seen that picture early on. If I have it on my computer here, I'll post it for you guys. I'm pretty sure I do. I'll post it here for you guys. You know the picture I'm talking about. Um, so that document 51 states that the bed looked like someone was already in it, but had jumped out of it. And that's why I'm thinking Kaylee was last, because she probably ran into Maddie's room and he was already doing what he was doing. What my theory is on this now, or what I think, is that if he did do Ethan and Xana first and then went up to Maddie's room, he might not have known that Kaylee was there. So he got shocked and stunned. And so whenever Kaylee arrived in the room, because she probably heard some commotion happening in Maddie's room, and or some kind of a noise. I don't know. Don't quote me on this, because I haven't gotten to the documents yet to say whether or not I'm right or wrong on this. But if this guy is Bryan Kohberger and he did do the unaliving of Maddie or Ethan and Xana first, then going upstairs doing Maddie before Kaylee would make sense, because Kaylee would have ran in there to try to save her friend. And that's why she put on such a fight. Moving on. Yeah, it's not for the movies. Extend on the stab wounds theory. This also is in Idaho 4. He doesn't type in there a lot. Yeah, it's not for the movies. So I'm assuming this is in regards to how they were unalived, how they were cut, how they were stabbed, all of that. And he's saying, yeah, it's not for the movies, meaning it's absolutely gruesome. JD Fam speaks out. He dodged a bullet, in my opinion. JD is cleared. He has nothing to do with it. JD is cleared. Like, he just keeps saying it. Theories thread 4.0. Killer went to Ethan's room first and then Maddie's room. Again, we're just finding out. He keeps repeating himself. And he likes to repeat himself until someone really understands. It appears. Did the killer, and I do that too, I think, when I'm trying to explain something. Did the killer find Xana's bedroom by accident? That's what Ellie is trying to figure out. Did they find the white Hyundai Elantra? No. So direct and sure. The 300-mile corridor. Go drive out there and look for everyone. Why did the police initially believe these murders were targeted? They didn't have a suspect at the time. Did the killer find Xana's bedroom by accident? Killer went straight to Xana's room. It was not by accident. Is that why he went into the sliding glass door? Because he knew Xana's room was right there. Like he knew her bedroom was on that floor. If it would have been someone on the first floor, Bethany, let's say, the killer would have went in through the front door. Xana's room, or even Dylan, for that matter, Xana or Dylan, he would have went in from the sliding glass door. But then again, going up to the third floor is not easy. There's no stairs back there. So it would have been hard for him to go up there on the third floor and get access there. So the sliding glass door to go upstairs would have been ideal, I suppose. But Xana's bedroom, by mistake, he went straight to Xana's room. It was not by accident. And there's no, in my opinion, or speculation, this guy is sure of what he's saying. Is a killer on these boards? Speculation. Here we go. They are on one of them, 100%. And he says it again. Multiple suspects for multiple victims? Speculation, unconfirmed. Also in Idaho 4. Speculation. One killer. Home security tips. Just put a yard sign out that says you're a gun owner. Most effective way, in my opinion. General discussion thread, December 19th. Speculation. Bodies were inside the room. The sliding door. Look at my first comment. I edited, and so you got the info. Then he says, it was open. It should be convincing by this picture, as they took a part of the outside handle for evidence, but not the inside. Also, ISP Snell confirmed it was a sliding glass door for entry. So this little screen thing here says, Amanda Rowley, ISP spokesperson Aaron Snell, told me this afternoon, it was believed that the potential suspect came through the sliding glass door, but again, there appeared to be no signs of forced entry. Then we have, it's a route. I don't know the targets. Well, that's a bull-faced lie. You've been saying who the targets are since I started reading. But again, this is 2 points, so this could have been like early on. This could have been very early on. General discussion thread weekend of December 17th. Investigators' movement in the home. They retraced the killer's path, started kitchen, then Ethan and Xana's room, and then Maddie and Kaylee's room. Kaylee Goncalves' father told Fox News that they have recently released a surveillance video, said just two girls having a good time, asking about their bartender. It was pretty clear that this individual was not part of the investigation as far as a suspect. Don't bite the hand that feeds, you get nothing. I'm 100% confident this is a route that the killer took. Feel free to private message me. Speculation. Killer went kitchen, Ethan and Xana's room, Maddie and Kaylee's room. So when it comes down to the Jack Showalter investigation as far as a suspect, that's not true, you guys. That's not true. Let me see here. There's a document 73. Document 73, there was 4 blood swabs collected from supposedly Jack Showalter's apartment. I did not know that Jack Showalter lived at 500 Queen. There was like blood on the toilet bowl flushy thing, the nozzle. There's also blood on the shower curtain, on the light switch. There was 4 blood samples collected, and none of them matched the crime scene whatsoever. So that was ruled out as far as what I read in the documents. Killing order. Speculation. Ethan in Xana's room, then Kaylee and Maddie. General discussion thread, weekend of December 17th. Speculation. Killer went to Xana's room and then Maddie's room again. Then we have Fox interview with Kaylee's dad and lawyer. We have Fox interview with Kaylee Goncalves' dad and lawyer. I don't think this has been posted, and it shares a video. Speculation. He didn't specify it was, I'm assuming, Kaylee Goncalves. He was referring to a persons on the cleared list. He never named them. News Nation video. What are your thoughts on this? Will remove if inappropriate. Speculation. Entered sliding door. The killer was not waiting in the home. A 2011 white Hyundai Elantra GLS that was purchased earlier this summer in Washington is now for sale in Idaho. How much are they selling it for? Miles, any issues? How conceited. This point he had 52 points. So this is later on. It's getting a little bit more cocky too. How will this go down? Will they announce a suspect, or will the first we hear be a full-blown arrest? Speculation. They'll find the car first. Suspect will be announced, and then the manhunt begins. Bryan Enton explores Idaho killer's possible escape routes on Banfield. Speculation. One is a registered sex offender, and the other is a violent offender. All I'm saying is that the killer was not a registered SO. I would bet all my chips on that. So it wasn't sexually motivated, is basically what InsideLooking is saying. And then, remember the tire tracks? Speculation, yes. And then he shares a picture, but it's going to be bigger in a little bit. Bryan Enton explores Idaho killer's possible escape routes. It was not an SO. Could someone who was angry have hired someone to kill? Speculation. This was not the case. Random thrill kill example. This is not a thrill kill. Bryan Enton explores Idaho killer's possible escape routes. Speculation. Reeks of violent offender behavior, not sexual offender. It was not a sexual offender. He's very adamant that it was not sexually motivated. So I don't believe it was sexually motivated myself. I never have, because if it was the case, then something would have happened to either girls. General discussion thread, December 15th. I was mistaken by your post. Yeah, you're right. You said that. I'm ill right now. I've been suffering confusion. I'll come back to this later. What the fuck is that? Well, that's weird. No markers on the footprints. No markers on their footprints. Don't see markers marking their footprints. It's not a question, it's a period. Alternatives as to why the Elantra is important. Elantra is connected. Ellie knew and searched for this car since day one. Owner has not come forward. Anonymous reports of white car being perp immediately following the homicides. And now the Gonzalveses said that they knew it was like the white Elantra right from day one, whenever they got the footage from 1112. General discussion thread December 15th. Speculation definitely one, maybe six, who knows? Not sure what that's pertaining to. Speculation. To clarify, when I say known, it could be a small interaction to the best friends. Not sure. See their shoes? Okay, so let's see here. I've seen this picture floating around here and there. But look at how small their feet are, right? With their little slippers. Okay, and you see the marker. There's something there. I just don't think it's what he's going to highlight in a little bit. You'll see. You'll see. You'll see. Just a theory, but perhaps a killer parked far away to avoid any possible connection. Speculation. No way. The perp of a quadruple homicide wants a quick getaway. So again, he's like saying no way, period. Like he's so damn sure. Timing of car on home camera footage compared to time of murders. Why waste an hour to see lights go out when you can pull up and lights are already out? Meaning he didn't just go hang out in the area before he did what he did. Although he did drive around quite a bit, maybe he was just shocked that there were still lights on when Xana was getting her DoorDash. Maybe he was expecting them to be all asleep at that time. So he was expecting to go there and the lights would already be out and then he could do what he needed to do. But because the lights weren't completely out, because Xana was waiting for her DoorDash, it ended up, he was very gutsy to make that happen right away. Like, you should have known that someone would have been awake. General discussion thread, December 15th, 2022. Yeah, I've been bombarded with messages accusing me that I'm the killer. See, people had already caught on to him by now. People telling me they're going to tip me in, and people asking me for personal information. It's a bit comical, but I'm trying to be clear as possible that I am not the killer. Speculation, targeted and known to victims. Idaho murders, white car spotted in footage obtained by police one day after the killings. Thank you for the acknowledgement. I still believe that's the case, and I guess we will find out eventually. Not sure what that's in replying to. Then he shows the pictures again, and he's showing like the tire tracks. Look to the left of that red line, follow the skid marks. It looks as if the car jumped that corner and corrected it where the officer stands. S on heel of shoe print. Not sure what that is for. Toxicology findings aren't relevant to the case, says coroner. Speculation, because they were attacked with a knife when they were sleeping. General discussion thread, December 15th. I took a week off. Now I'm back. Also got slapped with a temporary ban from Idaho Murders. So he wasn't able to comment in Idaho Murders for a while. Ethan and Xana's timeline. Frat and home. That's it. General discussion thread, December 15th. And here's the picture again. The tire marks from the killer's car when they fled the scene from behind the house. And I keep in mind, this is before, like, this is during the crime scene photos and whatnot, but you can see here the tire marks. Like, he was like going so fast, he almost fucking lost control. That would have been so funny if he lost control right fucking then and there, right after he did what he did. Karma, instant freaking karma. He has his karma now, 4 consecutive life sentences. And then here's another picture here of the expanded crime scene behind the house where footprints came from. Speculation, this is where the killer parked. That's also what I think as well. I've always thought that the killer would have parked there. And speculation, outside handle removed for DNA evidence. Door was left open, so killer didn't touch the inside handle. So here we go again. This is the outside handle, the inside handle. And supposedly he never touched the inside because when he went in, he left that door open. And he knew that. And here's the picture again with the foot. Sorry, I keep zooming in and out at this point because he's sharing a lot of pictures. He doesn't usually do that. And And you see how small their shoes are, right? You can see, remember, and this is zoomed all the way in. And then you can see what it looks like to be a footprint. I agree. It looks like a footprint right now, right here. I don't think it is, because the original picture was far back. There's no way a foot is that big. Now, they did say in the document, though, that it was a 13 to 14 shoe size of some sort that was found. I mean, yes, even a 13 to 14 shoe size, is huge. But considering this picture is zoomed in from a picture that's far back, there's no way that footprint is huge like that. There's something else here. And it's not this. I don't believe this is what they're actually looking at. Did not enter window. Plant on center of sill is not moved. That little plant here. I'll zoom in again. Like, he's sharing a lot of pictures all of a sudden. This little plant here is still there. I'm just going to leave it zoomed in for a minute. And he's going over the plant again. The plant is right here. This is the kitchen dining room window. All right. Ethan and Xana's timeline. They were Sigma Chi, source LE statements. General discussion thread, December 15th, 2022. Speculation. Killer parked behind the house, approached property through the tree line, entered sliding door and left it open. Committed murders and exited sliding door. One knife, according to coroner statement. Time of murder approximately 3:20 to 3:40 a.m. according to car fleeing seen on the camera on Highway 8 approximately 3:45 a.m. Okay, the time frame doesn't match what we know it to be. So I don't think, unless he was there for much longer than what is stated in the documents. But based on what I see here, this time frame does not match. So we'll leave it at that. Vehicle left skid marks upon exit. Please see photos below for more information. This is whenever we see all the pictures above. See, they're not in chronological order. Idaho murders, white car spotted and footage be obtained by police 1 day after killing. Speculation. I've said from the beginning that car pulled up to the house. Killing order. I'm not giving out any personal information. Theories thread 3.0. This is true about coroner medical examiner. Do you have a link for Kay's dad stating this? Maybe I missed it. I thought it was only Xana who had confirmed to have defensive wounds. I couldn't help the urge to say that. Yeah, the downstairs bathroom was used for taking dumps. Oh my God. What a immature POS. The stools were added after Ellie arrived. So the stools to keep the patio door shut. December 15th, 2022, white 2011 to 2013 Hyundai Elantra update with Captain Rodger Lanier. He's making a list. Theory thread 3.0. It was only X that had defensive wounds from what was released, unless you could provide me with a source that said both of them. Again, on Kaylee's defensive wounds. The white car is a killer. Here is why. Yes, I know. I'm confused as to why you think they went through the window of the dining area. There are items there that wouldn't be like that if someone went through, which makes sense. Like, I agree. Okay, because that's not where the plant is tipped over. They are two different windows. There are items in front of that dining room window that appeared untouched. Agreed. There was nothing touched in front of this window. This is not the window anybody went through. Mother of slain Idaho student speaks out in emotional interview. So they're upset Ellie isn't sharing enough information with them, but also upset coroner shared too much information with them. This is whenever the coroner told, I think it was one of the sisters, and I'm not sure which one it was, if it was Aubrey or Autumn. But supposedly Mabut, she told one of the sisters, and it wasn't Olivia, because Olivia I don't think was living there. I don't think she was there to take the call, but either Aubrey or Autumn got the call, and the coroner shared with one of them what had happened to Kaylee. Let's talk about the knife. Prove to me it's not the shoe print. And I think he's talking about the shoe print that I mentioned up on top that I don't think is a shoe print at all. The white car is a killer. Here's why. Which window are you saying then? The sink window or dining area? Outside slider handle was taken for evidence. Window screen was next to the bedroom window, not kitchen window. Window entry was also appeared undisturbed. Theories thread 3.0. The coroner said it. Let's talk about the knife. They don't do that. And here we are again. I disagree. The shoe print is a killer's track. Like, I agree that the killer went through that area. 100%. This is not a freaking shoe print. Look at the size of their shoes, their little booties that they're wearing, and look at the size of this thing. It's not a fucking shoe print. Did the killer want to be known? No. The killer did it in a discreet fashion. This is also in Idaho 4. There's not a lot of those, actually. It's mostly Moscow murders and Idaho murders. Let's talk about the knife. I made my statement and provided a source. I do not distribute my personal information. Killing order. I will fix that right now. Sorry about your nuts. What the actual? I'm not giving out any personal information. Ethan Chapin's fraternity gives statement on December 14, 2022. Exactly what I've been saying. Not sure what that's pertaining to. Let's talk about the knife. Okay, if you truly believe that, tip me in. I'm not the Moscow murderer. I've already been tipped in weeks ago. No connection. This is a bull-faced lie. 9 points and weeks ago? Bullshit. White car, Hyundai Elantra, mega thread. Number 2. I keep my speculation short. The pictures of neighbor's home indicate it would make sense for the camera to be pointed at the driveway with 4+ cars than the street. Dwellers want to protect their property. Do you think the killer's been interviewed by police or media yet? I was joking. Not sure what that's pertaining to, but that's interesting. Let's talk about the knife. I'm speculating. I don't have any inside information. There's photos online of marked shoe prints outside the home. White car, Hyundai Elantra mega thread. I'm not giving any personal info out. Theories thread 3.0. No, one single knife. So he's saying, and we're all discussing lately whether or not there was multiple weapons. Olivia stated there was a second weapon. What was it? I've speculated there could have been a flash grenade, um, and you know, um, just to deter, but also like it could have been a freaking camera as well, like the flash of a camera, or also a lamp upstairs being broken because it stated that Xana's vanity was moved in an awkward angle whenever the cops showed up in her room. Like there was a struggle in there, which there was because Xana was fighting for her life. And there was blood smeared all over everything. Um, so yeah, I don't know if there was. I don't think there was multiple weapons. And if this is Bryan Kohberger, he would know. No, one single knife. And this is the second time he mentions there's only one weapon. Let's talk about the knife. So they just mark random things. So I guess somebody's arguing with the shoe print, number 3. And so, but there's obviously something there. We just can't see it. It could be blood. We don't know. We don't know. It could be blood drippings or something. Going forward, general discussion thread December 13th. Thank you. I could see if it was a basement that was underground, but it's not. It's obviously a 3-story, and the one road it means you have to pass the front. Criminals may act irrational, but they're not that stupid. But they're not that stupid. Killing order possible, but I doubt it. Not sure what that's pertaining to. Let's talk about the knife. Killer didn't use shoe covers. There's marked shoe print outside the house. So he could be like just deterring people away from him or something because Josh Ferrero stated that because of Bryan, and even Bryan in his essay, he even mentioned that there would be shoe covers involved in a crime scene, you know? Um, so do I think shoe covers were used? 100% by the killer. I do believe that. Killing order. That's right. Thank you. First, I'm not the killer. I've been tipped in already, so please don't waste law enforcement's time. Also, how does it make me crazy for referencing the coroner statement and not giving out my personal information? An anonymous person, that's all you need to know. The coroner insinuated this theory. I back up her statement. picture videos. I've already been tipped in weeks ago. I'm not the killer. Anyways, I say this because footage of the killer or a description would be released if Ellie had it. It's what they did recently for the car. Killing order. The coroner insinuated the statement. I back up her theory. The white car is the killer. Here's why. He entered the sliding door. Killing order. One murder weapon. Same weapon was used. One knife. Killed all four. One knife. Keep saying that. So, and he's saying it with such confidence. Theories thread 3.0. Agreed. White car, Hyundai Elantra, mega thread. I said pulled up to the house in a previous statement. I didn't specify at the time if it was the front or the back, but it seems pretty clear which direction Ellie pointed to. 4 homicides is risky. Car near house, quick getaway. You pull up behind the house, go through the trees, and enter the back. Simple. Such confidence again. Tracks or no tracks? I speculate the killer drove up to the house. That's not angled towards the road. It's angled towards her driveway. Theories thread 3.0. Speculation. Car pulled up to the residence. Killer entered and exited sliding door. The killings took place approximately 3:20 to 3:40 a.m. One killer, one fixed blade knife. No injuries. No injuries. Stating that the killer had no injuries. Didn't hurt himself at all in all of those attacks. None. Again, the time frame is wrong based on what we know. But it's still a 20-minute. It's still 20 minutes, though, you guys. He knew about 20 minutes. Car lights. Now, I found this very funny, you guys. Look at this. Doesn't this look like his alibi? Stargazing. Oh, my goodness. The stars and the clouds. Oh, my goodness. Okay.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
White car Hyundai Elantra mega thread. I have to say it's speculation, otherwise mods will delete. This is where he says it. I have to say it's speculation, otherwise mods will delete. Gas station versus body cam vehicle. Gas station picture. Front end is curved Elantra. Ellie picked front end is square, not the same vehicle. That's what everybody wants to know. No connection. White car Hyundai Elantra mega thread. Yes. It didn't get a great view of it, but enough to figure out the vehicle. Like I've said before, the car pulled up to the house. Gas station versus body cam vehicle. That's not LE near the gas station. Describe the current mindset of the killer. Thrilled initially after murders, now some anxiety and obsessed with case information. Da-da-da-da! Yes. And we know based on Dateline have stated that Bryan kept searching the case information after it happened. And Pappa Rodger and InsideLooking are just nonstop into this case, commenting all day long. I can just see that Bryan was just so tired. After the murders happened, he would go to school and people would say, oh my God, he looked disheveled. He looked like shit. Like he looked like he was so tired. Well, I wonder why. The guy was obsessed with what he had just done. And so he was searching day and night. He was sleuthing on his own crime, you guys, until his arrest. Until his arrest. Wow. That's some crazy ass shit. Thrilled initially after murders, now some anxiety and obsessed with case information. Except it was a college party house and DNA is very, very sensitive. What do you think about the importance of the Elantra? All of them. Not sure what that's pertaining to. Do you think the killer has been interviewed by police or media yet? I think so. I think it's both. Yes and no. White car in gas station footage is not an Elantra. Person in vehicle is wearing a hoodie with the hood up. So the one still photo that the person at the gas station took at the mobile gas station, InsideLooking is saying that they can see the person is wearing a hoodie and they have their hood up. I am going to blow that picture up here and we're going to look at it and we're going to see if we see a fucking hood on this guy. Surveillance video, why not requested sooner? Detectives can be lousy. New lead on car Q13 linked article. Then he does this like GIF. 2022 daily discussion. Killer drove to the residence, entered sliding door at approximately 3:20, stabbed victims in their beds, left through the sliding door at approximately 3:35, and headed east on Highway 8. 12/13/2022. A meteor hitting and destroying the earth is possible, but it doesn't happen. Use common sense. If a huge fight happened at the fraternity that resulted in the murders, people are not going to be silent about that. The general discussion thread, December 13th. So you're saying they never once saw the front or the side of the home. Instead, they randomly attacked the home from the backside. I'm not sure what that's pertaining to. If you guys know, let me know in the comments. 12/13/2022. That's what the 4chan post alleged. Okay, disregard my comment then. General discussion thread. How do you not notice it's 3 levels? 12/13/2022. The fraternity is not covering up a quadruple homicide. That was 4chan post and it's false. 12/12/2022. You want a long or a short answer? Again, I'm not sure what that's pertaining to. General discussion thread, December 13th. Well, they did stop. That's a fact. Yes, the killer knew. Not sure what that's pertaining to again. Based on what we know, do you think there will be an arrest before Christmas and why? That's because TikTokers and Redditors are sending in bogus tips. 12/12/2022, not frat guys. They have. I'm assuming he means they've been checked into. Based on what we know, do you think there'll be an arrest before Christmas and why? With no arrest before Christmas, this case goes cold in my opinion. Dead wrong. Investigation update 12/12/22 with Moscow Police Captain Rodger Lanier. Too many people to remain silent. 4chan is not a reliable source. It's fake. 4chan rumor that Sigma Chi frat bros involved. This is all fake. Investigation update 12/12/22 with Police Moscow Captain Rodger Lanier. Oh, you again. Link? No. I'm not sure what that's all pertaining to. What is the strangest thing about this case to you? What has you interested? Probably didn't look like it had good lighting down there. I think he's meeting. What does he mean? Like going to the first floor? Why the surviving roommates survived? Not sure. Questions I wish the reporters asked in the conference. Ellie said the dog is not part of the investigation. Is he talking about Murphy or Buddy? Geography of the surrounding area. Yeah, it would have taken someone unfamiliar with the area 8 hours to get out of that labyrinth. I'm not sure how to say that word. Labyrinth? Significant of car, Inside Edition. They sectioned off a part of town, collected information, found an outlier. Questions I wish the reporters asked in the conference. Dog is irrelevant. So again, are they talking about Murphy or Buddy? A little knowledge. Look into history. Fingers crossed for the best news possible. Tomorrow's update, same information as yesterday. Dumb luck. Half of all murders go unsolved. If the person hasn't come forward or made people around them suspicious by now, it's safe to say this person is a psychopath and could kill again. Yet serial killers have had clueless partners. Let's talk about after the murders. Rush of adrenaline, very excited. Doesn't that sound like Bryan? Rush of adrenaline, very excited. So excited he had to go back to the crime scene just to see if anything had happened or if there was cops there, there was media there, how viral his crime had just gone. Yeah, very excited. A little knowledge. Everyone is capable of murder. Being convicted of murder is a separate thing. Dude, no, not everyone is capable of murder. General discussion thread, weekend of December 10th. If they did, they would. Not sure what that's pertaining to. House construction methods. People have been shot in homes and roommates didn't wake up. Some hope. DNA is pretty sensitive. Moscow's cameras, there's a lot. Apparently not enough to catch a killer. He's getting very cocky. They might be clearing people so fast for a reason. I doubt it. They might be clearing people so fast for a reason. They probably don't have the DNA. No person of interest. A little knowledge. I disagree with very few people could do this. A lot of people could do this, just haven't seen the dark side of humans. They might be clearing people so fast for a reason. It has a hilt and the victims were sleeping. For people in the area wanting to feel a little safer at night, or just get a gun. Let's discuss Ellie asking for more information regarding the white Elantra. They haven't tracked it down yet, number one. Bolo was issued late, also no license plate. 3, no license plate number. 4, maybe they don't know. This might have been around the same time that he actually went and changed his license plate. I don't know, because you don't know the date. It just says 22 days ago, but I don't know when that was posted. Kaylee's dad slip up. Did they get the guy? So sarcastic. They might be clearing people so fast for a reason. They are cleared. Perpetrator didn't incur an injury. This is twice he says that. The perpetrator didn't incur an injury. How the hell would he know unless he is the perpetrator? You guys, kitchen stools lodged into the sliding door. They removed it for evidence. Then there's this link of an article, especially when they were publicly cleared. White tag, maybe, both pics, links attached, another GIF. Where was Ethan found? In bed. So nonchalant, like so confident. The sliding door. Good find, thank you. Everyone was asleep. It's better to leave it open to make it easier for escape. Bingo. So someone was on the same wavelength as he was. 7th of December daily discussion thread. Outside handlebar taken off for DNA. Inside handle not. Perp opened the door and never shut it. Outside handle taken for DNA. Inside handle not. Perp opened the door and never closed it. Basically just said the same thing. And again, he said it again. Would this mean entry was slider? Perp didn't close it when he entered, so he took off with it still open. No marks on the inside handle then? Why are outside handles different? 7th of December, daily discussion thread. I don't have timestamp, but here is the full picture. This is whenever they're looking at the sliding door. That's a sliding door. Look real close. Body cam footage. Definitely wasn't murdering when they just cut off the lights. Right. But he did it very soon after. The murders happened after this. Anyone else think it's the ex? No, laugh out loud. The perp is not on the list, laugh out loud. So why have a cleared list? So why have a list then? That's not how it works. See cleared list. Has anyone considered that maybe, just maybe, that Ellie publicly clearing these individuals out because they suspect one of them, but want to make them feel like they're off the hook so they can catch them off guard as they're building the case against that person? 100% bullshit. The exit. Have they already solved the case? No suspect at this time. Past comments regarding most updated police focus made on November 21st. Do they know something or are they just a troll? Okay, I'm done with you. Prove it. Yeah, I do. Nothing happened at Sigma Chi. I never insisted something happened there. I was stating on the timeline, Ethan and Xana were at Sigma Chi. That's it. I never said something went down there. Yeah, what about that? Wrong. Too many witnesses if something went down at Sigma Chi. Video on TikTok about Jack Showalter and his family connections. All I'm seeing right now are red flags, not JS. General discussion thread, 2nd. Drone footage from day 1 of investigation. Does that look like a bedroom to you? That's basically the dining room again. That's the dining room. But the bedroom, Dylan's bedroom window is right beside it. How to speculate correctly. It's Reddit. A bunch of anonymous people on the internet. Everything is speculation. Drone footage from day 1 of investigation. Yes, for the window next to it. So they're saying there's a screen on the floor probably, and it's for the window. Dylan's room. Dylan's room was missing the screen, and also it had a cinder block underneath it. Is it odd that the girls only called the ex-boyfriend but didn't send any text? Agreed. Ex-boyfriend is not involved. Jack Showalter, not a suspect. Agreed. Jack Showalter is innocent. Drone footage from day 1 of investigations. And here you'll see the screen that he's talking about. Back here, it's hard to see, but it's there. If you guys look online, you'll find it. 6th of December daily discussion thread. I promised you that you are incorrect. So confident. So confident. So sure of yourself. People who understand knives, please explain. Am I who? 6th of December daily discussion thread. I'm correct. Okay. We just don't know. This is true. They clearly stated it. Sorry. They clearly stated it. It's a little cut off here. People who understand knives, please explain. This is true. They don't have the weapon. He has ladders. He could have gone onto the 3rd floor from outside. Suspect's wounds because design prevents it. Watch how fast someone can get shanked in prison. I'm sure there are videos out there. TikTok theory. Ellie said nobody is completely cleared. Why does it say that? He's innocent though. Suspect wounds. A knife doesn't jam and the victims were asleep. Kay's parents signed waivers for PD to investigate something male related. It's not standard practice by Ellie, must be important. Bryan sent something to the Goncalveses. I'm just asking for a friend. Suspect wounds. Prove to me they did get an injury. So this is 3 times he's saying the suspect did not get injured. Best publicly available timeline, no connection. I have a tiny piece of information on the investigation. So they tell the public someone is innocent knowing they just killed 4 people and let that person roam around in society. That makes zero sense. And for me, it makes zero sense for people to continue to say, um, I mean, am I still open to it? Perhaps. But in my heart of hearts, I believe now that we got the confession and we got the sentencing, I do believe that Bryan's the sole perpetrator. And also based on what Inside Looking is saying, one perp, one killer, one knife. He's very sure of himself because I feel it's Bryan. So they tell the public someone is innocent knowing they just killed 4 people and let that person roam around in society. That makes zero sense. Going to preface this with Nancy Grace is a grifter, so take this with a grain of salt. Link to video and comments. Window was entry, sliding door exit. That's wrong. He's been saying the sliding glass door was the entry and the exit. I have a tiny piece of information on the investigation. They repeatedly tell the public that. Not sure what that's pertaining to. 6th of December, daily discussion thread. No, he wouldn't. He's not involved. I'm not sure who he's talking about. Jack Decor, perhaps, or Jack Showalter. I have a tiny piece of information on the investigation. Ali has no suspect. Yep, no suspect at this time. New update from local media reports that Xana and Ethan were likely at the frat house the whole time. Where was all these people when I was getting downvoted and hate for saying this? Any new thoughts on if we know the killer or not? We haven't heard of. Serious question for Reddit, Ellie, and lawyers. No suspect at this time for real. Best publicly available timeline? No connection. News Nation Banfield live now. Hoodie guy discussion. Did Ellie clear individuals too fast? Cleared. We just don't know. Nope. Any new thoughts and if we know the killer or not? No suspect at this time. There's your answer. And then again, has anyone considered that maybe, just maybe, Ellie was publicly clearing these individuals? Blah, blah, blah. No, they are cleared. Some quick information regarding the phrase person X has been cleared by Ellie. Check City of Moscow PD King Road Homicides website for information. And this is when he starts quoting Moscow PD website a lot, because he's very stick to the facts and he claims he's saying facts, so he's throwing in the speculation and, in my opinion, in there as well. Saw this and had to share thoughts. Why a whole college essay on it? I'm not sure what that's pertaining to, but maybe, I'm not sure. General question, no. New update from local media reports that Ethan and Xana were likely at the frat house the entire time. Been saying this from the start. Physical evidence from the scene. Number of evidence doesn't matter. It's quality of evidence. Xana and Ethan whereabouts? Somewhere in Sigma Chi. Some quick information regarding the phrase person X has been cleared by LE. It's accurate. People on cleared list are not involved, which is including Dylan, Bethany, everyone that was there when the 911 call was placed. Jack Showalter, Jack Decor, the driver. Rub truck video, he is not involved. At what point should we worry? The long haul has started. Some quick information regarding the phrase person X has been cleared by LE. Nobody on the list is involved. What did you guys take from the dad's comments about the steps, meaning he didn't have to go upstairs? Isn't it obvious? No, it's not. Inside Looking, it's not obvious. What did Steve mean by that? News Nation Banfield live now. Hoodie guy discussion. Did Ellie clear individual too fast? JS is cleared. Cleared is cleared. They have nothing to do with it. Suspect wounds. No injuries. Again, that's 4 times. Kara's parents signed waivers for PD to investigate something male related. More than you think. That's really odd that he would comment on this thread. That's really odd. Hoodie guy and the driver, they are not involved in the murders. Some interesting reports from the recent Moscow police log, not connected. Notes from Brian Anton's News Nation's special report aired December 4th. Thought this was obvious. I'm not sure what special report it is. Maybe I'll have to go research that. Xana and Ethan's whereabouts, Sigma Chi. Some quick information regarding the phrase person X has been cleared by LE. Cleared is cleared. He has nothing to do with it. One killer, one knife. Until there is evidence to say elsewise, they were at Sigma Chi. I can only go off details provided by investigators. General question. No point. It means nothing. It's speculation. Moderators, I didn't say a name. No connection. General question, not connected. It doesn't say they were anywhere else, meaning Ethan and Xana. It doesn't say they were anywhere else. Roommate relations. I haven't seen this mentioned anywhere. Roommates cleared, not involved in homicides. Moderators, I didn't say a name. No connection. Best publicly available timeline. He says here, investigators have determined that Ethan, Chapin, and Xana Kernodle were seen at Sigma Chi House on the University of Idaho campus at 735 Nez Pierce Drive at approximately 1:45. Ethan and Xana are believed to have returned to the residence at 1122 King Road. It was previously reported that Ethan resided at the home. However, it has been determined that he was only visiting. Red Theories 2.0. Ellie not lying to the public. General question, speculation. No, they were cleared today by Ellie. Last sentence, please read. Best publicly available timeline. City of Moscow PD King Road homicide website does not mention Ethan and Xana leaving Sigma Chi. It says they went there and returned home King Road at approximately 1:45. 12/2/2022. Layton County Coroner Kathy Mabut said the manner of death was a stabbing for all four individuals. The cause of death was murder, according to Mabut. Mabut, who wrapped up the autopsies Wednesday, previously said the killings were not a murder-suicide. The toxicology reports are still outstanding. She said the same knife was likely used to kill all four victims. Fox News. Best publicly available timeline, yes. On clip of Xana's dad from the memorial, did he reveal something about motive during the speech? You're looking way too far into this. Like he's very detail oriented. Like you're looking too far into this. Like he's putting people on track. Like look here, look right in front of you. Here I am. Best publicly available timeline, Sigma Chi. 3 a.m. 911 call on November 13th, not related to homicide investigation per LE. It's not related. End of story. Laugh out loud. No. Celebration of life live stream right now. Victim's family and boyfriends are speaking. He was cleared by LE. Look no further. Why was Jack Showalter hoodie guy cleared so quickly by police? He was cleared. That's all we need to know. Is anyone following this 4chan thread? Someone posted coordinates nearby and photos of the bedroom before the murders. Then trail cams were discovered. Apparently the killer is using anagrams. Fake, he says. Of course you would know. General question, no, thank you for the input. Celebration of life, live stream right now. Victims' families and boyfriends are speaking. I'm being sarcastic. Can the police use companies like 23andMe and Ancestry to match DNA? Yep. General question. And then he links the Moscow PD website. Toxicology can take 4 to 6 weeks. 12/2/2022. Single blade killed all four. Nope. Curious what everyone thinks the outcome of this case will be. No suspect at this time. 3 a.m. 911 call on November 13th, not related to homicides. Laugh out loud. No. JD was cleared. He has no involvement. Theories thread. They were all cleared. Michael Baden. My view is that he is cleared. That's it. Yes. Who is Michael Baden? I'm going to look into that. Michael Baden. Theories thread 2.0. No suspect at this time. JD is clear. JD is cleared. No suspect at this time. A crime scene is one big message of its own. Solid. A crime scene is one big message of its own. That is self-explanatory right there. That's some big metaphor saying like his crime that he did was telling a message. That's craziness. General question, and he's linking the Moscow PD website here a few times. Jack in the Box bag with Xana's name. Closest Jack in the Box was 10 miles, 20 minutes away. No, timeline is he went to Sigma Chi and came back. I know someone who knows someone. No suspect. Exactly. Could Kaylee have been feeling her ex could do this? No. Cleared in big block letters. General question. Cleared is not cleared is even more wacky to believe in. Meaning people that are saying people that are cleared are still not cleared is just even more comical than it is otherwise. Watch this case play out. The killer won't be anyone that was cleared by Ellie. Question: do they discreetly have a person of interest? They have a list and they said it during a press conference. General question: cleared is cleared. Final answer. Ellie just clears people for no reason. Latah County arrest log. No connection. Perp pulled right up to the house. Thank you. 100% agreed. Thank you for sharing. Official information only. He's so dead set on official information only, meaning everything he's been saying has been factual based on what he knows, based on the fact that he is Bryan. He is Bryan Kohberger. Do you think I sound like Nancy Grace? Bryan Kohberger. Oh my God, I'm so sorry, you guys. It's late now. Do you think they were really sleeping? Yes. What's behind the 3 a.m. police call in Idaho Murders Banfield? There's no indication or reason to believe they were elsewhere, according to the official story published on City of Moscow website. I watched some of the video, and OP asked what we thought of the time gap. I think OP is referring to Ethan and Xana time gap. I'm saying they were at Sigma Chi the whole night and returned to King at 1:45 a.m. I'm confused what we are even talking about now. Yeah, the alcohol offense was on Taylor. I'm saying Ethan and Xana were at Sigma Chi the whole night and returned to King approximately 1:45 a.m. at Sigma Chi. I have two questions. 100% agree with you. New interview with Moscow Police Department Chief James Fry. No suspect identified at this time. There's still progress to be made. Question: do they discreetly have a person of interest? The people on the clear list don't have anything to do with the murders. Just stop. Redditors have been saying this from the start and nothing has changed. People are accusing cleared people, saying police are playing mind games with the public, saying, oh, they have a suspect in custody already. I've heard plenty of crazy and reckless theories. I'm not even close to be even off my rocker as them. What appears to be blood on the kitchen cabinet. First two pics posted on November 14th. The last pic posted on December 1st after cleanup. Yes, what more do they need? They took 4,000 photographs of the scene so they can return to it in augmented reality. Do they discreetly have a person of interest? I'm not detracting from reality. This is the one that, and this starts to be a thing. Looks like the guy who threatened students with a knife on campus in September is unrelated. Official sources only. Do they discreetly have a person of interest? They're not lying to the public. Any theories as to what Ellie is looking for? The table was cleared off. The table was cleared off on a photo posted the 14th. A photo posted today shows a cluttered table. They took over 4,000 photographs. Do they discreetly have a person of interest? I got downvoted for saying this, but they're not lying to the public, and there's no word games going on. It's more odd the things people come up with in here than denying what they're saying. It's distracting from reality because they told the public this multiple times. No suspect. No, they do not have a person of interest suspect at this time. Kaylee's dad slip up. Ellie has repeatedly said they don't have a suspect. DNA has already came back. Crime scene has been processed and is being wrapped up now. Evidence has already been gone through, interviews conducted. Why would anything change now? I get this is emotional, but let's be realistic. Idaho 4 interview with neighbor, can sleuthing destroy innocent people? No, it's not illegal to be a weirdo. What happens? What appears to be blood on the kitchen cabinet. First two pics posted on November 14th. Last pic posted on December 1st after cleanup. They're wrapping it up. Idaho 4 interview with neighbor can sleuthing destroy innocent people. He did. Someone in the group has a podcast. They brought him on. He did an hour-long podcast too. I'm not sure who he's talking about here. Trying to make sense. People have been cleared and ruled out. Is Ellie scaling back resources? Anyone know? Feels like it. They're wrapping up the crime scene. DNA not showing a suspect at the moment. This will drag on for quite some time. Question. Not a big leap. They had nothing to do with it. Cleared is cleared. It's the truth nobody wants to swallow here. Kaylee's dad slip up. This isn't a sports match. It's reality. Just watch it play out. EMT, roommates, friends. No, they were cleared. They don't have anything to do with this. Kaylee's dad slip up. That's quite the fantasy. Did Ethan and Xana attend a formal dance at Kappa Alpha Theta? Gosh, I can't say that word. After leaving the fraternity party at 9. Sigma Chi. GoFundMe from alleged knife wielder's family member. Not connected. Strange Facebook picture. Yeah, that's a knife. What picture is strange? Kaylee's dad slip up. They don't have one at this time. EMT roommates friends. Why are you asking for this footage? Kaylee's dad slip up. No person of interest at this time. General discussion thread. Wednesday, November 30th. Because they can estimate time of death. Pictures, videos. Nope. The killer was not caught on camera. They were Sigma Chi. No person of interest at this time. They had nothing to do with it. Cleared. No. Yes, 100%. They are cleared. They have nothing to do with it. Question. You're looking too far into this. And then he shows the cleared list again. Use official sources only again. Can you share legitimate sources to show the police publicly cleared her? Did Ellie tell the public she was cleared? I can't find a legitimate source. Who? Her. Who's her? They got an adequate amount of resources and expertise on this case. Question. Cleared is cleared. The police aren't going to lie to the public. So this is again for the campus September knife thing. I'm not reading that because it's unrelated. What are the known or rumored alibis of those most closely associated with the crime? They aren't going to lie to the public. Agreed. Official sources are the best and only sources to use here. They've already been cleared. Press release November 30th, 2022. Chief said there was no connection to the September 12th knife incident. Again, there's a lot of these now. September 12th knife incident. Again, the September 12th knife incident. Again, no connection to September 12th. This is later on. 56 points. Update from Moscow PD. No connection. Chief said this very early in the investigation, so it's no surprise. Pay attention to what Ellie says and don't try to fill in with hidden messages or word game nonsense. From a local reporter, Boise just now, Ellie has said that from the start. Not sure what that's pertaining to. How do we know for sure? Because they told us and they are the experts. That's all we need to know. Morning of November 13th and the unconscious 911 call. I never said I knew more than Ellie. I just share what Ellie has provided. I don't try to insert random things into their narrative, which has been consistent. Anyways, yeah, use me. It'll help for someone to double check your post. That's good. Refer to official sources, not news reporters or edited clips. Moscow PD official website, most accurate information and official source. Now I have to read this to you guys. It says on November 13th, the surviving roommates summoned friends to the residence because they believe one of the second floor victims had passed out and was not waking up. At 11:58 a.m., a 911 call was requested aid for an unconscious person. The call was made from one of the surviving roommates' cell phones inside the residence. Multiple people talked with the 911 dispatcher before police arrived at the location. Officers entered the residence and found 2 victims on the second floor and 2 victims on the third floor. This was early on that we knew that friends were summoned over. I didn't know I was talking to a former EMT. Pardon me, sir or ma'am. I'll leave you alone. I'm so sorry. This is why we are not detectives. People aren't here are concerning too. Morning of November 13th and the unconscious 911 call. I never said that Snell was fake. Laugh out loud. The most updated version would be the corrected version, which would mean it's not an unconscious female, it's an unconscious person. Also, why are you flexing EMT on me? So you don't see the video skip? He corrected female to person. Also, why that video skip? Then he reshares that. They believe one of the second floor victims had passed out and was not waking up. They're not playing word games with the public. People can't handle the truth here. Ellie has no suspect at this time. Accept that already. I believe that there is no person of interest. I believe what Ellie is saying. Individual charged in connection with the September 12th threat. Again, not reading that. General discussion thread, Monday, November 28th, merely a suggestion why roommates survived. So, merely a suggestion why roommates survived. We're going to get into that in just a second, very soon, actually. The neighbor and harassment by cyber sleuths. Thanks, very interesting. Again, this is pertaining to the September 12th incident, which has no relevance. Here's the reason why perhaps Dylan and Bethany survived. And this is just wild. General discussion thread, Monday, November 28th. Sometimes killers are satisfied by the number they hit. Maybe the killer was satisfied with 4. Out of curiosity, how many interviews has he done up to now? I'm not sure who he's talking about. Ali has already said there was no connection to this for the September 12th incident again. Ali said there was no connection to this. He's talking about how he pulled up to the house again. Valid point, no one can be absolutely ruled out. I don't buy into this one bit. I trust the information Ellie is putting out there. Do you think law enforcement is being honest in their answers or playing word games to protect their investigation or anger lure the killer? Of course, they're going to know more than the public. They're investigating it. 911 call was for unresponsive female on the second floor, confirmed by police. This is from Moscow PD. Why do we not trust them as a source of information? Imagining the killer's night. Yeah, he took a nice, long, hot shower in the residence he murdered 4 people in and even brought his own soap. Like, I wouldn't put it past him. I would not put it past him. And maybe that's why, maybe, I don't know. I'm not going to go there, but yeah, maybe I will. Maybe that's why Dylan and Bethany didn't really get out of their rooms or think anything or call 911 because maybe the shower went off. I'm just throwing that out there because of this comment. I don't think that's what happened by any means. I don't think he took a shower there. I really don't. I do think he took off some layers though and put it in a bag or something. Ellie does not know anything. Citizens need to be informed that they need to secure the domiciles. Ellie is misleading the public and needs to help its community with setting up security. The public is misleading themselves. 911 call was for an unresponsive female on the second floor, confirmed by police. You're looking too far into it. They're not using word games here. I'm not sure what to make of that clip. Snell corrects the statement, and then it appears the video skips forward. I'd like to watch a full interview. If you have it or someone could share it. I cite official sources, not rumors. Anyways, have a good day, buddy. Oh, you're right. I should trust Facebook groups, Twitter, Reddit, and all other rumor mills. Get out of here. So why are you on both? Why are you on Facebook? Why are you on Reddit? No, it's not been contradictory. People are just choosing to believe these unverified sources and claims over what Ellie has told us. That is from the Moscow police. Are you out of your mind? And he recites the post about the 911 call and shares the link. Do you think law enforcement is being honest in their answers or playing word games to protect their investigation? They're not playing word games. I literally posted the quote above. You can also check their website. So a Facebook group is a better source than law enforcement. So why are you saying they were running outside calling 911 when Ellie states the call was from inside the residence? Ellie said the call was made from inside the home, and then he recites what they said. Who is not believed to be involved? Any individual at the residence when 911 was called. So Emily, Hunter, Josie's boyfriend, Bethany, and Dylan. Oh, hello. My deaf boy just woke up. Oh, hello, baby. Hi, Curtsy. Then tweet from Brian Anton. Do we not have a name of the person or persons of interest who are actual suspects? It's good to see others in this group are calling out the BS from others. I've been doing the same. How is this so confusing? Hence why I use official sources only. A lot of unverified claims are spreading that contradict what Ellie has told us. November 29, 2022, it could be that the killer was satisfied with the numbers. Some hit a number and just stop. And that's very much possible. Maybe he liked the number 4 and he just wanted to go for 4. It's possible. So thankfully, Dylan and Bethany survived this. Ellie acknowledges concern that killers may show up at the vigil tomorrow, says detectives on top of their game. Use official sources only. Update from Brian Enton, no persons of interest at this time. People have been interpreting it many different ways, though, or choose not to believe it. General discussion thread, Monday, November 28th, 5 p.m. Roommates have been cleared, in caps. Saw it on YouTube. Elise said the call was made inside the home. Update from Brian Enton, no persons of interest at this time. Ellie has said this from the start. Ellie has been saying this from the start. Done by someone they know. How long does it take to solve a homicide in the real world? Insightful answers by detective on quota. We don't currently have a suspect. ISP Communications Director Snell during Fox News interview on November 27th, 2022. And then he gave a link to a YouTube video. General discussion thread, Monday, November 28th. We don't currently have a suspect. Again, it's not been verified that the doors were locked. Roommates have been cleared. Elise said there was no suspect at this time. All 4 could have been the targets. An interviewer asked Snell if the dog was still a part of the investigation, and Snell looked flabbergasted that was even a question. Unsubstantial post from just now. Use official sources only. On foot or in car. He drove right up to the house. He said that so many times. He said that so many times in this. We're on page 31 out of 33. We're almost done, you guys. Thank you for sticking this long with me. I really appreciate it. And if you're new here, please subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button. I've been reading a lot. My mouth is dry as fuck. Haven't even taken a sip yet. I'm just focused on doing this for you guys. First major leak in case. Nancy Grace says perp DNA is not coming up in CODIS or AFIS. Use official sources only. Suspect person of interest. It was never verified by official sources that the doors were locked. That's hearsay. And he's sharing who was cleared again. Official sources only. Again, he is cleared, no connection. I don't think I showed it in big letters, but here we go. Who is not believed to be involved? 2 surviving roommates. Mail and grub truck surveillance video. Private party driver who took Kaylee and Madison home on November 13th. The male Kaylee and Madison called numerous times during the early morning hours of November 13th, meaning Jack Decor, or any individual at the residence when 911 was called. I know he's shared it a few times in these posts and I never blew it up, but there we go. Who else thinks the police have nothing? They don't. No suspect at this time, according to LE. Micro theory, X who Kaylee made phone calls to has been cleared. X who Kaylee made phone call has been cleared. The dog theory, no suspect at this time. So the dog theory would be Buddy. General discussion thread, Sunday, November 27th, 9 a.m. No suspect at this time. Killer's exit route, agreed. Ellie said yesterday, no suspect at this time. I bet Ellie is banking on the DNA, which is agreed. Ellie said yesterday, no suspect at this time. I bet Ellie is banking on the DNA, which isn't as easy as people think. Case closed otherwise. Case goes cold otherwise, sorry. So I bet you he didn't know his DNA was on that sheath. That's what I think. I don't think he knew. I think he got fucking shocked when they found him. I think he thought it was touch DNA. It was touch DNA. Almost wasn't even there. Almost wasn't even there. Controversial opinion, roommate involvement, Reddit users being hypocritical. Laughing my fucking ass off. Roommates are not involved. How many times does Ellie have to say this? Sometimes killers are just satisfied with the number of people they killed. Looking on the request for videos in the geographical region indicated by Ellie, how they narrow this region down and their north boundary is much closer to the house than the south one. Makes me think they have more info on how the killer left than we know. This group should have found it earlier. FBI agents and investigators returned to the house Friday and seen checking eye line from third floor window towards apartments across the way, meaning towards 500 Queen, and you can see them pointing towards 500 Queen here. They're not pointing at the house 1122. They're pointing past that to 500 Queen. If you watch the video, it looks like he's looking out the window and not at the lock. It's like the last 10 seconds. So there's a video, I guess, and there's the guy looking here. He's looking outside. He's not looking at the lock. People, I guess, were saying he was looking at the lock, but you can see he's looking past the lock. Why isn't reward money being offered? Exactly. Got to be able to convince a jury that this is the perpetrator without doubt. Person who followed the victims and knife accounts. A lot of autistic people can and do drive. A lot of autistic people can and do drive, you guys. So what was one of his arguments with getting the death penalty off the table? That he's autistic. Oh my goodness. I wonder if the knife could still be inside the home. The killer took it with them. End of story. With them. The killer took it with them. End of story. Oh, he didn't want to say with him. I see why he said them. And the last post, the killer is out there right now. Anyone making statements is going to want to remain anonymous. So there we have it, you guys. Here's the end of the video. We are done. 33 pages. I'm exhausted. Let me know in the comments below, timestamp a specific point that really jumped out at you or points that jumped out at you. Let's talk about it. I'm going to be all over my comments section with you guys. I'm going to be responding. Also, just be respectful, especially towards the victims and the people that are cleared. I can't stress that enough. We know who's cleared and we know who's in jail. We know who got sentenced. So there's no sense in putting blame on any of the surviving roommates, Jack DeCore, Jack Showalter, anything like that. Okay, so please just don't. And let's focus on the fact that Bryan is in jail and that this very well could be Bryan behind this account. So thanks for watching this long ass video. I really appreciate you guys. And again, I'm dying to hear what you guys have to say. And definitely timestamp your points. Timestamp everything that I've said or I've read that really jumps out at you. And let's talk about it. All right. So that's it for tonight. Good night. And I'll talk to you guys on the next one. Bye, guys.